Hi friends, and welcome to today's video. This is my first video in 2022 and today I would like to do a review of 2021. 2021 was a big year for me because I started to work and live as a digital nomad. So I spent the first 2 months of the year in Germany trying to figure out where to go and getting used to working remote. The first country I actually wanted to travel to was Portugal because it's one of the countries I've never been to but I always wanted to see. But the COVID restrictions and lockdowns made it quite difficult, so I decided to go to Sweden instead. The reason why I went to Sweden was that my younger sister was living there at the time, and also Sweden didn't have as many restrictions and it was quite easy to travel there. So my first flight as a digital nomad was to Örebro, a cute city in the south of Sweden. I met my sister's host family and friends and we explored Örebro, Gothenburg and Stockholm. It was really cold but still so nice to see the cities. In my last week I rented a Swedish house on a farm and spent my lunch breaks watching deer in my backyard. This was also the month where I started my YouTube channel to document my adventures as a digital nomad. At this time I had no plans for the rest of the year. After my trip to Sweden I really wanted to go to a country that is warm and tropical, so I packed my bags and flew to Monterrey in Mexico. I stayed there for a week, met a new friend who showed me the city and ended up flying to Puerto Vallarta on the west coast. I really enjoyed the city, made some good friends and started to love my life again. After a year of quarantine in Germany and being in a relationship that wasn't good for me, I was able to let go of what no longer served me and started to live the life I always wanted. Puerto Vallarta is a super nice city to live in and there is so much to explore around it. At the end I stayed until June because that was the time most of my friends left and the rain season started. I spent a week in Puerto Escondido with some of my friends but actually felt really homesick because I missed my life in Puerto Vallarta. I took a flight to Mexico City where I met some of my friends and had a really good time. The city surprised me in many ways. I used to think that it's way too dangerous to visit it, but actually it's not. The advice not to go came only from people who have never been there, while all of the people I know who have been there said it's a great city to visit. So I explored the city, realized there are endless things to see, and decided to go back to Germany to get vaccinated and to spend the summer in Europe. I spent 6 weeks at my parents' house in Germany to catch up with friends and family, get vaccinated and also prepare to start for the next trip. It's also the month where I started to sign up for university to study online and do what I love full time. Before leaving to live in the next country, me and my best friend went on a vacation together. What we wanted was pure nature, so we picked a place on the map in the middle of Sweden. In the area called Jämtland, you will only find a few locals who are living there but zero tourists. Seriously, there are most likely more moose in the area than people. We stayed in a cute Swedish cottage at a lake and spent every day exploring the wilderness of Sweden. We did road trips, went on hikes to see waterfalls, stumbled upon wildlife and experienced another feeling of freedom. Nature always helps me to reflect and to see things clearly. This vacation, where I decided to stay offline for a week, helped me to recharge. It was such an incredible experience that I decided from then on that I would do at least one vacation in nature every single year. I continued traveling with visiting some friends I made in Mexico in Avignon in France. Avignon is a popular place to visit for people who want to see the lavender fields in the Provence of France. Unfortunately, we were too late to see the blossom, but it was still a good time of the year to see the little town. There's a big castle and the whole old town is surrounded by the city wall. Going there felt a little bit like a fairy tale story because there was so much history. I enjoyed to see my friends and spending time having picnics at the river with wine and French baguette with dips. When I was in Avignon, I realized that I'm quite close to Barcelona, where a friend of mine lives that I hadn't seen in 7 years. So I took the train to Marseille, spent a day there exploring and then took a flight to Barcelona. When I first got there, I was so impressed that I was thinking I would spend at least a couple of months there, but the curiosity to see other countries was too big, so I ended up staying for 6 weeks. During the weeks I spent there, I met some amazing people that turned into good friends and explored the city. What I enjoyed most was wandering through the old town, spending time with my friends at the beach, doing some sightseeing to learn more about the culture, eating tapas, and going on a hiking trip outside the city to see a big canyon. The next destination I visited was super high on the list of places I want to see, and that was Cappadocia. I met some friends again I made in Mexico, plus some new friends, and spent 5 days exploring. When you visit Cappadocia, you feel like you're in a fairy tale or movie set. The landscape almost feels unreal because it's so unique and beautiful. There are many lost caves you can explore in the valleys, and every morning you see hundreds of balloons rising up to the sky. All of this combined with the Turkish culture and food makes it an unforgettable destination. I felt really inspired here to create videos and take photos. I count Cappadocia now to one of my favorite places around the world. I wouldn't consider to live here because the town is very small and I'm certain there's no nomad community, but it's just perfect for a small vacation. Me and my friends took a flight to Istanbul afterwards to do some sightseeing in and around the city. Istanbul is definitely an underrated city. Instead of a week, I ended up staying for 3 weeks because I enjoyed it so much. We did a lot of sightseeing, explored different neighborhoods of the city, and went on a day trip to the Prince Islands, which are actually popular for a summer vacation but are kinda spooky in the winter. What I enjoyed most, apart from spending time with my friends, was to make new local friends. My Airbnb host, with which I lived for 2 weeks, invited me to meet his friends, and I ended up having a really good time. Turkish people are so welcoming, warm and friendly. If it wouldn't have been so cold, I would have spent at least another month at the coast to see more of this fascinating country. To escape the winter, I decided to fly to the Canary Islands as my last destination before going home for Christmas. I lived in Santa Cruz in Tenerife for 3 weeks and enjoyed the warm weather and the nature. My dad visited me for a week and we literally drove around the whole island, which was super fun. One day after he left, my best friend came to visit and we spent a week together in the south of the island. Together we went to different beaches around the area, did a tour on the volcano El Teide, the highest point of Tenerife, and spent a lot of time talking and laughing. Our trip ended with visiting a friend in Gran Canaria for a day. We took the ferry from Santa Cruz to Las Palmas, walked into the sand dunes to create some beautiful footage the next morning, and met my friend for dinner. I ended my year with spending Christmas and New Year's Eve at home and meeting some friends from around the world in Germany. Looking back at 2021, I'm incredibly grateful for such an exciting and amazing year. It wasn't all perfect, but I had a really fantastic time. What I'm most grateful for are, of course, my friends and family from home, but also all of the new people that came into my life and being able to travel unlimited. This life was my dream for many years, and the only reason why I got here was that I never stopped trying. No matter where you are on your journey, it's never too late to live your dreams. I don't know if you've been here from the very beginning or if you just started to watch my videos, but I want to say thank you for watching and sharing your time. I really appreciate that you're here, and I hope to see you again on my next video. Let's make 2022 an even more special and exciting year.